Okay, Doc, so as a putting specialist, show us some of your drills and tips when you go through a lesson.
You bet. I want to first of all find out how well the person aims. So aiming is something that we would do face on. So I want to find out if their aimer is a problem. So let's do that.
Sure.
All right, Alan. So here is a T-square. Okay. So I want you just to aim it at, this is, we'll say this is a straight putt. So aim it right at the center of that flagpole there, from right there, and then that's it. Tell me when you've got it. Okay, now go back and take a look. How does that look?
Maybe off a little bit left, maybe just a skosh.
Yeah, so a little bit left. So as most good players, we find they tend to aim a little left.
Interesting.
So that's not unusual. So at that situation, we would move this even closer than 10 feet and start getting them to find out how do they aim the best. Do they get a spot in front of the ball and use one eye or both eyes? Where does their head position need to be? Do they stand up or squat down? What is it that helps them aim to start with?
Gotcha. So
Okay.
it's kind of a trial and error to figure out exactly what
Yes,
cocktail works
and
best for
what
you.
works best for them.
Gotcha.
Now, we would say also, since the California sun here is pretty bright, using even a green laser isn't easy to see. So I've come up with the T-square for another option as well. So let's go ahead and have you aim again at the center of the flagpole and get into your setup and tell me when you're ready.
Go for it.
Pretty good. All right, so then I'm going to put this right up against the face of your putter. Now go back and take a look and see if that looks any different. Now we're testing your aim at address or your alignment, not just your aim. How's that look?
It looks, if anything, even farther left.
I would agree. I would agree. So in that situation, we've got some options. So the option, obviously, what type of putter helps. But first, I would say get over the ball again, Alan, and pretend there's a ball there. Okay. And we would have a mirror, or we could drop a ball from here and see where their eyes are. So notice your eyes would be about the inside edge of the ball, which is pretty typical of a good player. What could we do? Well, you're right eye dominant?
Left eye.
Left eye. So I would move the ball up in your stance
Okay.
immediately. A little more, a little more. Now, does that look any different?
If anything, it looks more left.
More left, okay.
Yeah.
So that could happen, as you can imagine, okay. And so overall, that looks more left, then guess what? It means you want to do a little more of this,
Sure, sure.
which, by the way, would be more accurate. So overall, as you and I are both cross-dominant, left eye and right-handed, that ball position would be the first thing I'd work with you on. Next would be eye position. So go ahead and get in your setup. And then let's say the ball is right here. So I would want to know where this looks the best. And then I would have you measure how far, so you are about 2.5 putter heads away from the edge of the ball.
Okay.
And so that would be a key aspect. Not only where is the front of the ball in your stance, now you're about a ball forward, right? But also where do your eyes need to be, and that's helped by how far you are from the ball. Lastly, I'd say drop your right hand. Just drop it, okay, and reach out and touch your kneecap. So you can see you're basically touching about the middle of your kneecap, or pretty close.
Yeah.
And so we would measure to see your hip angle, and we like around 49 to 53 degree hip angle, which means the big muscles can work a little bit better as opposed to the hands. So wow, now we're on a roll.
Fantastic.
Evnroll.
I love it. I love it. As far as anything with shoulder alignment or feet
Oh yeah,
alignment,
yeah.
can you
So
talk about that?
you bet. Go ahead and get set up again. So I want the player, when they look back in the mirror, like I'm behind them, to see at least a half or 2/3 of their left forearm. If they're too right side dominant, they can't see anything when they look back down the target line.
Sure.
So we want that Another method would be to have the player take their lead arm and put it across their front and grab their back elbow and take a look at, is my arm there parallel to the target line or not?
Love that.
Okay, so one of our better known players came up with this because he was so right side and right side dominant. So that's a good one, and then you leave that bend there and then put your arm on here, and we're a lot better in terms of parallel.
Sure.
The opposite would be for someone who's left hand low. Okay, they would do the back arm, yeah. And we used to say, gee, you know, look at left hand low.
Sure.
Okay, got that left elbow right into the side.
Yeah.
What? What were we saying? Okay, look at where this is going.
Yeah.
So now, go ahead and put this on your elbow and get this going. Would be the other way. Now go ahead and go back the way you were. So now, put this one on this elbow for cross-handed players or left hand low, and now you've got a good position. So either you can move this elbow out a little bit or move this elbow in a little bit, more bend.
Oh, I see.
And now we got a parallel forearm. So that also tends to be the same as with the shoulders. So that's another good checkpoint.
Love it. And that's a great way to go through, you know, pre-shot routine on the golf course. Great.
Yeah, you bet. You bet. Absolutely. The more consistent a player can be with their setup, eye position, ball position, okay, our job's a lot easier.
Consistency is key.
You bet.